Hello, this is Victor at RestoringMercedes.com. Today we're going to talk about door locks for W220 and W215 chassis. Now, here we have 215 chassis door locks, front left to be exact. And there are two different versions here. One is with keyless go and the other version is without. Now, the problem here is that I have a car here that has no locks. They don't work on both sides. 215 chassis, CL55. I don't remember, 2004 I think it is, 2005. But long story short, the brand new door locking pump did nothing, so the car is here to figure out what's going on. Now, what I found is that both solenoids, the diverter solenoids, these solenoids here, both of them were blocked off, and that's a kind of a common situation on these cars, unfortunately. But what is the solution? All right, fine, so you buy a new lock. Okay, fine, but apparently the new lock is no longer available for 215 chassis CL class. So no can do. Driver's door is no longer available. Passenger side is available. We'll get to that in a minute. But the first thing is that we have to talk about what we're gonna do with the driver's side, because I mean, it's like, okay, fine, you're gonna go and get a new used one. Used one is no use because the membranes are gonna be I mean, the caps will be blown and the door locking pod will be blown, and solenoid is questionable. So we have to see what's going on. Like, I mean, what we're gonna do is, like, you're gonna get the lock before you install it. It's a job and a half because there's quite a few things to do. Take the window regulator out, the glass comes out. There's a lot of things. So you don't really want to go and install a bad door lock assembly. So what have we here? The original door lock. This piece right here. Now, this is a keyless go 215 chassis. Here's the part number here, 1335. All right, now this one I glued up the door locking pod, that little ball. There's a little extension where the air hose connects to, but they always crack. We'll get to cracks in a minute, but I glued this over. But the soft close membrane here, soft close, that the membrane that pushes the actual the mechanism in here, right here, that surround broke off. So I started to glue it up just to create a shape. It's not going to be used because we found another lock. So, oh, come on. I just make this video on the fly, you know. I'd never edit anything, just go with the flow. So anyway, I started to fix the surrounding area. Now this plastic over here cracks. As you can see, this area is missing piece of plastic, so I epoxy it over. Once it cures, I can grind it down, and theoretically this can be all re-glued over, but no, it's easier to start with the other lock. And the reason why it broke is because the original cap, if you will, and they all go bad. I mean, we know that. This cap right here just blows off because plastic gets old and brittle. So what do? You go online, you buy yourself a replacement one. Is this piece that is absolutely horrible, because all of these parts are not exactly same as the original. So they give you this, they give you that, they give you the screen that's in there that had to be modified, whatever. So that's supposed to click in here. My problem is that once I put this on, because I'd never thought of it being bad, long time ago I did one of these locks, and I was like, never again, because not only that this thing does not fit properly, it's supposed to go over like that, right? But this particular piece, for example, let's just see if I can capture this on camera. If you look closely here, you see there's a hole in there. So it's like you got the leak. Come on, focus, please. Right there. There is a hole. So it's see, like there's a stress crack, if you will, some sort of a cracked surface. There's supposed to be a hole there, right over there. That's fine, and that hole is supposed to blow air through here. But what we have here, we have the pressure that comes through this opening gets into that hole, and all pressure escapes from this port, so it's useless. It's like you got absolutely no pressure. So this thing had to be removed, and during the second removal, because the original one blew off, then the surround area broke apart, and now we can't use that. So I was trying to shape the form so I can actually put in the old one, glue the old one in. Alright, now second thing is, the lock that was found is from the vehicle that did not have keyless go, but we have a perfect surround, as you can see it. This cap was missing completely. It was not even, it didn't even come with the lock. So the membrane here, it's kind of decent, but I think I'm going to put in a membrane. I have two membranes here, so I'm gonna put one of these in there because, well, clean them up, of course, because the membrane here was exposed to the elements. Basically, it was outside, if you will, out in the outdoors, and I think the rubber itself probably, I mean, it's good, but it might be compromised in all the dirt and everything. So I think I'm going to just replace it with the other one. And the second thing is, because it's a non-keyless go, it does not have a solenoid over here that's supposed to switch over between lock and unlock. Right here there's a little switcher over there, spring-loaded, and it's missing the solenoid completely, and the wiring to it, of course. See, this is the solenoid. I got it out already. So this solenoid is supposed to sit inside the lock there, and we also have to have an extra connector, this connector for that very solenoid. So these are the connectors that go from both locks. They look pretty much the same, but there is an extra one for the keyless go, and this is a non-keyless go. As you can see, there is no connector for that plug. These are the wires. To be honest with you, I didn't even compare the plugs, because I'm going to swap out this way. Okay, so these are same. Alright, fine. And these are also same. So we're just missing the wire for the solenoid. Alright, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just remove this wire, unwrap it, put the solenoid into this assembly, and then rewrap it again. The solenoid that came with the used lock, as you can see, it has some rust on it, and sure enough, it's blocked off. It does not let the air through. You can clearly see the problem here. Right there. So you see the air supply at the end is blocked off with the rust, because again the lock was exposed to elements, water, and all of that good stuff. So no can do. And on top of that, there is a crack, a common crack here on the door lock right there. Clearly see it, clearly visible. Now you can just like, well, you can glue it from up here, but I glued it, I mean, I would drill a hole on top there so I can put glue from the other side as well. So that's the difference. That's the first thing that needs to be done, the solenoid and the wires. So that is that. And then once said and done, I'll show you what else we're doing. Believe it or not, it sounds like a simple task, but it takes a little bit of time, quite a bit, to get this thing all situated. So let me just put these things kind of like away. Then we'll look into the other locks that I have. That's the hole I'm talking about. So once you have that hole, you get access to the back of the door lock pod, the cap. As you can see, I glued it. See, that's the crack right there. So you see it's glued over. This is the original one, because again, I was trying to resurrect this piece, but because we found another one, it's going to make my life easier to get to work on the lock that came complete with the surround. The case is good. Now, here is the used lock from the rear door that came from some other car, I don't remember. This one seems to be, this is the keyless entry. I see the solenoid in there, and I tried the solenoid from this used lock and no can do. That was bad. Solenoid was bad. And we have, I found this other one that I had, the cap and the solenoid, and the solenoid is bad as well. The cap has cracks, as obvious you can clearly see. That's the bad news. And I have another lock here. There's another lock. This one is from the rear door. As you can see, it's broken off right here. This piece was blown. No can do. Junkyard unit, but this is not a keyless go vehicle. 2002 rear RF, right front, maybe right front, it doesn't matter. But this is where I sourced the solenoid that works. All right, rubbers and whatever, that doesn't matter. Maybe I'll use this one. I don't think I'm gonna use this piece. I think I'm gonna use the original one or one of the others, because as you can see, there's a slight difference. I mean, of course I can grind this all down, all of these surrounding areas, just to expose this piece, but this has a ball and this might crack again. This is solid without any rubber ball here, so I would rather use this. I would rather glue this around. Whatever, I have this piece, I have another piece on the other lock. So this is what we're gonna do. And lastly, we're going to look at the last lock. This is a brand new dealer lock, part number and everything. 1635 keyless go, brand new. And this is a second lock that was mailed in. 98. I doubt it was made in 1998, but the wiring harness might be made in 1998. But this lock was made, at least the plastic piece here, was produced in 2010. So this is a brand new lock that's set on the shelf somewhere for 14 years. And of course, what do we have? We had a famous crack right there. So this is already glued. I glued it over. So just because, again, this is a job to put these in there in these kind of cars. So that was glued up, and then this was already deforming. This is the soft close pod, and it was already losing its shape, as you can see the stress. So this was also re-glued with some crazy glue and baking soda. Now you won't really want to use that crazy glue on this, because it can go inside if it's cracked, because it can block off the passage. So that therefore I used epoxy on this one. This was perfectly intact, no leaks inside, so I went with crazy glue because it etches into plastic, so it holds better. Again, this is a precautionary kind of situation here, because we do not want this thing to break anytime soon, and I would rather, like as an insurance policy, get this thing re-glued before this very lock goes back into the vehicle. And as you can see, like I said, this is absolutely brand new. Part number is 1635 and never been installed. Now this is the second lock. First lock was delivered with infamous crack here with the leak. It was leaking. So second lock was delivered with the same very crack. So because of the date, because of the age, these things are old. They've been sitting on the shelf forever, and now the old stock is being depleted. So all these parts, they're not made yesterday, they're made like years ago, and because of that, plastic gives up and it gives in. You can tell it's a passenger side because it has no keyhole here. You see, there's no keyhole. Like, you cannot, it's just like not there, because passenger side does not have the mechanical blade keyhole. So that's the problem. If the new lock is available, then I would just suggest gluing it over just for good measure to prolong its life, so you don't have to go back in there anytime soon. Same for this piece right here, and that's also a problem even with the new one. We're not even talking about the used ones. There was only one used lock available from the same car with same keyless go function, and that lock was sold with this cap absolutely broken and the plastic surround being broken as well. It was like missing a piece. So it's like, that's your option, that's all you get. And again, we're talking about CL, we're talking about 215 chassis vehicles, because for 220 chassis like S500, S600, S430 for that matter, they seem to be still available. But when you get a new one, you still will have a common problem with the crack that develops over here, right there, plus the cracking around the plastic cap that does the soft close. All right, so this one is actually pretty good, pretty decent. I might use this, oh, maybe not. So that's the crack here. And this one already lost 3 retainers. I don't know how long these will last. But again, this is what we have to do.